Picture a sunny backyard bash in Arvada, Colorado. Eli's 5th birthday, balloons everywhere until Linda, Jake's mom, and Emily's nightmare mother-in-law storms in with a sealed envelope, grinning like she's won. "Time to open this DNA test and prove whose kid Eli really is," she sneers, waving it like a grenade at her daughter-in-law, Emily. The party hushes, eyes locked on Linda. Even little Eli drops his Lego, spooked. Emily stays cool, clutching Jake's hand, brushing off Linda's glee but her guts in knots. "Go for it, Jake, read it," Linda taunts, smug as hell. Jake, ashamed, slices the envelope with a knife, everyone holding their breath. Then Emily smirks, pulls her own DNA test envelope from her purse and says, "Wait, Jake, before you do, I've got one for your mom." Her move lands like a bomb. Linda's face drains, the family freezes, and this mother-in-law versus daughter-in-law clash is about to blow up. I'm your host, Mark Yessen, and we're kicking off today's wild story. Let's roll. On a crisp spring afternoon in April 2025, Emily Carter decided it was time to break free from her cozy apartment in suburban Denver and take a stroll through Cherry Creek State Park. The park, nestled near a shimmering reservoir, was her go-to spot to escape the hum of city life and recharge. With the Rockies looming in the distance, the air buzzed with the scent of blooming wildflowers, and birds chirped like they were auditioning for a nature soundtrack. Sunlight danced on the water, casting golden ripples that made the whole scene feel like a postcard from Colorado's backyard. Emily plopped down on a bench by the water's edge, pulling a bag of goldfish crackers from her tote, her secret duck-feeding weapon. Ducks waddled over, quacking like they'd hit the jackpot as she tossed the cheesy bites their way. She tilted her head back, letting the warm rays kiss her cheeks, and sighed. It was one of those moments where everything just felt right, pure bliss wrapped in a soft mountain breeze. She could have stayed there forever, lost in the simplicity of it all. Across the park, Jake Thompson was chilling near the picnic tables, sipping a cold Dr. Pepper from a vending machine. He'd been watching Emily for a bit, not in a creepy way, just hooked. There was something about her vibe, the way she giggled as a duck nabbed a cracker midair, the easy glow she radiated. She looked like she belonged there, a piece of the scenery herself. His buddies were busy tossing a frisbee, hollering about their next hiking trip, but Jake's eyes kept drifting back to her. His heart thudded, practically yelling at him to quit stalling. Finally, he shook off the jitters and ambled over, hands shoved in his jeans pockets. He stopped a few feet away, flashing a grin. "Hey there, fellow outdoor enthusiast," he said, his voice warm but a little shaky. Emily glanced up, startled but curious. "Don't mean to crash your duck party or anything," Jake went on, scratching the back of his neck. "I just had to say, you look so at peace out here, like you're vibing with the whole Rocky Mountain spring deal. Couldn't not come say hi?" Emily blinked, then broke into a shy smile, her cheeks flushing just a bit. "Oh, thanks. Guess I'm basically one with the ducks now, huh?" she quipped, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. Jake laughed, relieved she didn't shut him down. "Oh, yeah, you're their queen for sure, ruling with goldfish and all," he teased. That got a bigger laugh from her, and just like that, the ice was gone. They started chatting about the park, the ducks, how Denver's springs always felt like a reset after a long winter. The air between them buzzed with something light and electric, a spark neither saw coming but both quietly rooted for. Emily and Jake hit it off like they'd known each other forever. After that first chat by the reservoir, they ended up wandering Cherry Creek State Park together, trading stories over the crunch of gravel under their Nikes. Jake spilled about his gig at a local craft brewery, how he geeked out over tweaking new beer recipes, especially after the Broncos won a game. Emily dished about teaching 3rd grade at a nearby elementary school, always dodging glitter bombs and kid tantrums. They cracked up over dumb stuff, like Jake's epic fumble when he dumped an IPA batch on his boss's boots and swapped shy glances that sent their pulses racing. By the time the sun sank, splashing the sky with orange, they were goners. Weeks morphed into months, and that park moment ignited something solid. They'd hit up a greasy spoon diner off Colfax Avenue for burgers and fries, catch late-night flicks at the AMC in Aurora, or just chill at Jake's apartment with his latest brews and a Rockies game on mute. Emily dug how Jake had this quiet swagger, like he knew his path but didn't flex it. Jake was obsessed with how Emily's smile could brighten a room, even when she was griping about a kid eating glue sticks. It was effortless fun, and felt like the real deal was kicking off. One night, 6 months in, Jake dropped a bombshell while peeling the label off his beer on her couch. "Hey, Em," he said, voice catching a bit, "how'd you feel about meeting my folks? They're itching to meet the girl who's got me cheesing like a goofball." Emily choked mid-sip of her IPA, eyes popping. "Your parents? Like seriously?" She half laughed, half freaked. She'd never hit this milestone before. Meeting the family was big league territory. "Yeah," Jake grinned. "They're cool. Well, mostly. Mum's got some strong takes, but Dad's a total softie." Emily spent the next day spiraling. "What do you wear to meet your boyfriend's parents? Do I bring something? Am I going to trip over my words?" She landed on a navy sundress from Target, cute, not flashy, swiped on mascara and snagged a cheesecake from King Soopers. Jake scooped her up after his shift, and they cruised to his folks' house in Littleton, a tidy suburb south of Denver. Her hands were clammy the whole ride, gripping the dessert box like it'd save her. "You're golden," Jake said, squeezing her knee at a light. "They'll adore you." They pulled up, and Jake's dad, Nick Thompson, swung the door open with a huge grin. "Well, hey there, Emily, get in here," he boomed, waving her in like she was already one of them. "Jake's been yapping about his park girl non-stop. Good to finally meet you." Emily blushed, handing over the cheesecake. "Hope it's not all embarrassing," she quipped. Then Jake's mom, Linda, slinked into the hall, and the air turned frosty. She raked Emily with a slow, venomous stare, lips tight, arms crossed. "So this is her," she muttered, dripping disdain like Emily had just crawled out of a dumpster. Emily stood frozen in the Thompsons' Littleton entryway, clutching the cheesecake box, feeling like a deer caught in a pickup's high beams. Nick's warm welcome had her smiling, but Linda's icy glare sucked the oxygen out of the place. Before Emily could even muster a hi, Linda snatched Jake's arm and hauled him toward the kitchen like he'd swiped the last Bud Light. Emily blinked, stranded by the door, her pulse hammering. Linda's voice, sharp as a tack, ricocheted off the walls. "Jake, what in God's name? Who'd you drag in here? She looks like she's strutting out of a reality TV trash fest." Jake's face flared red as he yanked free. "Mom, cool it. What's your problem?" he fired back. Linda didn't flinch, her words cutting deeper. "Oh, please, son, look at her. That dress, those nails. She's dolled up like she's working the pole at some Vegas dive, not meeting your damn parents. I didn't raise you for this low-rent nonsense." Her voice boomed, and Emily caught every stinging word. She peeked at her outfit, navy sundress, tidy red manicure. Nothing crazy. What's her deal? Am I missing something, she thought, her throat knotting as tears stung her eyes. Why was this woman tearing her apart? "She's a teacher, Mom, not some club chick," Jake growled, volume climbing. "That dress, I bought it for her. It's from Target, not some sketchy pawn shop. Her nails? Normal. What, you wanted me to date a nun in a burlap sack?" Linda snorted, arms locked tight. "A nun be a damn upgrade. I'm looking out for you, Jake. Girls like her, too hot, too loud, they don't stay loyal. Take Sarah next door. She's sweet, low-key, whips up a mean casserole, not this overdone Barbie wannabe." Emily's chest throbbed as the jabs kept coming. She wanted to sprint, snag her cheesecake, and call an Uber out of this nightmare, but her legs were jelly. Then Jake's voice roared back. fierce. "Stop it, Mum. You don't know squat about her. Sarah's fine. Yeah, but she's been batting her eyes at me since 10th grade. Your little setup, not mine. I'm with Emily because she's the real deal, not your pet project. Back off, or we're done here," Linda hissed, her stare pure poison, but she clammed up. Nick popped in, clueless, holding a Broncos mug. "Hey, you two coming? Emily brought cheesecake. Let's dig in," he hollered, waving them over. Emily forced a wobbly smile, swiping a tear as Jake stomped back to her. "Sorry about her," he mumbled, grabbing her hand. "She's unhinged sometimes." Emily nodded, choking down the lump in her throat. "It's fine," she fibbed, though her gut twisted. Linda's venom stung deep, but Jake's stand patched her up enough to shuffle into the dining room, fingers locked with his, clinging to the one anchor she had left. Dinner at the Thompsons was like tiptoeing through a minefield with a blindfold. Emily sat at the polished oak table, poking at her meatloaf, the tangy aroma of ketchup glaze heavy in the air. Linda's cold stare drilled into her from across the room, making every bite feel like a test. Nick kept things breezy, yammering about the Broncos' epic win over the Chiefs, asking Emily about her classroom chaos. But the tension clung like humidity before a storm. Jake stayed glued to her side, his knee nudging hers under the table, a silent, "I've got you." Still, Emily's gut twisted. Every clink of silverware sounded like a timer ticking down to trouble. Linda stayed mostly quiet, but when she spoke, it was a gut punch. "So, Emily," she said, carving her meatloaf like a surgeon, "teaching must eat up all your time. Not much left for extracurriculars, huh?" Her voice oozed suspicion, like she was sniffing out scandal. Emily gripped her napkin, forcing a smile. "It's a lot, but I love it. The kids are nuts sometimes, but they're why I show up." Linda's eyebrow arched, unimpressed, and Emily's face heated. What's her problem, she thought, but she held it together. After dessert, Emily's cheesecake earned a grin from Nick, thank God. Jake suggested they bounce. Emily nearly sprinted for her purse. In the car, she exhaled hard, staring at Littleton's manicured lawns and glowing porch lights. "That was a lot," she mumbled. Jake sighed, knuckles white on the wheel. "I'm so sorry, Em. Mum's got this habit of judging first, thinking later. You didn't deserve it." Emily nodded, throat tight. "Why does she hate me? I just showed up with dessert." Jake grabbed her hand. "She doesn't get you yet. Give it time, she'll chill." Spoiler alert. Linda didn't chill. But Emily and Jake kept going strong. Months flew by, hiking red rocks, binging true crime on Netflix, splitting spicy wings at Buffalo Wild Wings over Coors Light. Then, one starry night at their reservoir spot in Cherry Creek, Jake dropped to one knee. Emily said yes before he could finish, tears and giggles blurring as he slipped a simple ring from Kay Jewelers on her finger. They planned a wedding, Linda's gripes be damned, and said, "I do," at a sunny Boulder vineyard, wildflowers swaying and the Rockies watching. Linda showed up naturally, her face sour as expired yogurt. During the toasts, she rose, Chardonnay in hand, and cleared her throat. "To my son," she said, voice like a taut wire, "I wish you joy. And I pray you've picked someone who won't disappoint us all." Guests shifted, a few aunts whispering, but the DJ jumped in with a corny line about love, diffusing the bomb. Emily gripped Jake's hand under the table, eyes on the fairy lights and mountain skyline. This was their moment. No one, not even Linda, could steal it. After the wedding, Emily and Jake kicked off their next chapter in a 3-bedroom condo in Arvada, a sweet inheritance from Jake's late grandma who'd doted on him. The place was a steal, gleaming hardwood floors, huge windows spilling Colorado sunshine, and a front-range view that turned coffee runs into mini-vacations. They threw themselves into fixing it up, hanging pics from their Cherry Creek days, snagging a navy couch from IKEA, and bickering over paint chips at Home Depot like an old married couple. Every nook started buzzing with their energy, love, mess, and the occasional IPA Jake spilled tinkering with his brews. A year later, life flipped in the wildest, best way. Emily gave birth to their son, a chunky bundle with Jake's hazel eyes. Jake, still buzzing from dad vibes, pitched naming him Eli, after his granddad who'd shown him how to cast a line at Lake Granby. "It's got grit, you know. Feels right," he said, cradling Eli in the hospital, voice thick. Emily beamed, wiped out but radiant. "Love it. Makes me think of this chill prof I had at CU Boulder. Total legend." They chuckled, clueless that Littleton was about to ignite. Linda got the scoop on Eli's name at his first visit and went full detective. She nabbed Jake in her kitchen, same spot she'd ripped Emily apart, and sneered, "Eli, huh? Real cute. Bet your little wifey picked it 'cause it's her college boyfriend's name. That kid's a cuckoo in your nest, Jake, mark my words." Jake's jaw hit the floor, coffee mug wobbling. "Mom, you're unhinged. That's my kid. Your grandson," he snapped, thinking, she's lost it for real this time. Linda grinned, venom dripping. "Sure, son. I see her smirking about college. She played you like a cheap fiddle at a hoedown." Jake bolted, hauling Emily and Eli back to Arvada, his brain a mess. Linda's poison lingered, but he shoved it down. Over the next year she kept stirring the pot, muttering at 4th of July BBQs about Eli's nose not being Thompson enough. Emily laughed it off, nudging Jake over hot dogs and coleslaw. "She's certifiable," she'd say, squeezing his arm. But Linda doubled down. One afternoon, while Emily whipped up cookies for Eli's preschool bake sale, Linda helped by sneaking salt into the dough. The batch was trash, and Linda crowed to Nick, "Can't even bake." Pathetic excuse for a wife. Jake and Emily held strong, though. They built their world around Eli. Park play dates, midnight diaper dashes to Walmart, cozy nights with popcorn and Toy Story marathons. Linda's stunts were just static, a gnat they flicked off. The condo brimmed with Eli's crayon art and Hot Wheels, a fortress of their little family. But Linda wasn't out of tricks. She was scheming, biding her time for a blow that'd really test them. Life hummed along for Emily and Jake, a groove of preschool runs, brewery shifts, and chill nights in their Arvada condo. Eli hit 5, and Emily pulled out all the stops for his birthday. Balloons from Party City, a Spider-Man cake she'd wrestled into existence, and a backyard bash with neighbors and Jake's rowdy cousins. She'd wised up with Linda, shoving Eli her way to play instead of risking kitchen sabotage. It was a slick move. Linda griped but got sucked into Lego battles with the birthday champ, while Emily dished out sliders and guac like a pro. The party rocked. Guests couldn't shut up about her food, and Jake grinned, proud as a peacock. Linda, though, was always scheming. Weeks earlier, Emily had hit her 10-year high school reunion at a posh Lodo spot in Denver. No +1s, so Jake held down the fort with Eli, juggling Goodnight Moon and a rare night off. Emily rolled in late, buzzing from margaritas and memories, spilling to Jake. "Matt's a tech hotshot now, buff. All Silicon Valley vibes," she giggled, ditching her heels. "Get this, he was my first boyfriend back in sophomore year. Wild, huh?" Jake forced a smile, but a shadow crept into his gut. He stayed quiet, letting her chatter fade. Linda pounced on that nugget at Eli's party, pinning Jake by the cooler with a smirk. "So, this Matt dude's still kicking around Denver, huh? Emily's all googly-eyed about him. Bet she's been sneaking off with that gym rat loser. Eli's his, not yours, Jake." Jake froze, Coors Light dangling. "Mom, cut the bullshit. That's nuts," he said, jaw clenched. Linda leaned in, gleeful. "Wake up, genius. You two were on the rocks before Eli. She bunked at her mum's for a week, remember? Then, poof, pregnant. Smell the coffee, kid." Jake's mind reeled as Linda spun her yarn, twisting old spats into a daytime TV plot. She's crazy, but what if, he thought, shoving it down. He shook her off, but the doubt stuck. That night, after the last guest bailed and Eli crashed in his Spider-Man PJs, Jake lost it. "We're talking now," he barked, pacing the living room, voice like steel. "This reunion crap. Matt, your first love. Linda's got me twisted up. I want a DNA test for Eli, or we're through." Emily's face shattered, tears streaming. "You're serious? You're swallowing her garbage?" She choked, floored. She swiped at her cheeks, anger flaring. "Fine, Jake. Test Eli, but you're doing one too. Let's check if Nick's your real dad. Maybe Linda's got her own skeletons. Fair game, right?" Jake blinked, stunned. "What the hell? That's insane!" he shouted, fists balled. But Emily didn't budge, her glare fierce, and the challenge was set, straight out of a Rockies playoff showdown. The air in the Arvada condo buzzed like a live wire after Emily lobbed her counter-challenge. Jake stood rooted, fists balled, his face a storm of shock and rage. "You're flipping this on my mum. That's messed up, Em," he barked, voice ricocheting off the walls. Emily crossed her arms, eyes still teary but fierce. "Messed up? You're questioning our son over her wacko conspiracies. If we're chasing truth, let's go full throttle. Maybe Linda's hiding her own dirt." Jake huffed, raking a hand through his hair, but her words clawed at him. Deep down, he knew she wasn't wrong. Next day, Jake bit the bullet and dialed Nick. "Dad, I need a solid. No grilling me, just listen," he said, pacing the brewery break room, sandwich untouched. Nick's gruff voice crackled back. "What's this crap, Jake?" "DNA test." "For what?" Jake sighed, rubbing his eyes. "It's a mess. Emily and we're figuring it out. Please, just roll with it." Nick growled, clearly pissed but relented. "Fine, kid. But this better not be some Jerry Springer stunt." Jake muttered thanks, hanging up with a knot in his gut. A week later, they crammed into Nick and Linda's Littleton living room, Emily gripping Eli's hand, Jake clutching 2 sealed clinic envelopes, Linda lounging on the couch, smirking like she'd clinched the Super Bowl. Nick slumped in his recliner, nursing a cause, the TV muttering a muted Wheel of Fortune. Jake cleared his throat, the silence thick except for Eli's toy truck vrooming on the rug. "Here's the play," he said, voice firm but strained. "Eli's results and mine with Dad's. Mum, if you're right about Em, we're toast. If not, you say sorry and butt out, permanently." Linda nodded, her smirk pure cat that ate the canary. Jake ripped open Eli's envelope, eyes darting over it. 99.9% match. "I'm his dad," he said, relief washing over him. Emily let out a breath, squeezing Eli's shoulder, while Linda's grin twitched, eyes slitting. Jake locked onto her, then tore into the second envelope. He stopped cold, rereading, breath hitching. "Dad, it says I'm not—" "You're not my bio, Dad," he croaked, voice breaking. Nick grabbed the sheet, face draining. "What the hell, Linda, talk now!" Linda's smug mask cracked. She lunged, screeching, "That's fake. You set me up, you little—" Like a real housewife's reject. Nick bellowed, 30 years, and this, I raised him, you lying—" The room exploded, Eli's truck drowned out by yells. Emily sat shell-shocked thinking, I wanted her wrong, not this train wreck. Her win tasted sour. Neighbors pounded the wall, hollering to pipe down, but the Thompsons were a full-on meltdown, secrets erupting like a 4th of July finale gone rogue. The Littleton living room became a full-on battlefield, a shouting match that could have roused the whole cul-de-sac. Nick loomed over Linda, brandishing the DNA results like a war banner, his voice thundering. "You stepped out, and I raised another man's kid. I should—" he bellowed, fist hovering before dropping. Linda thrashed, mascara rivers down her face, screaming, "It's a damn frame job! I'd never— You're all out to get me!" Her pleas were wild, a trapped raccoon clawing for daylight. Neighbors pounded the wall, one yelling, "Cops or quiet, pick one!" But the storm raged on. Jake stood dazed, the paper shaking in his grip, his reality crumbling. "Mom, how?" he whispered, barely audible. Emily sat mute on the couch, Eli pressed against her, eyes big but hushed. She'd proven Linda's double standards, but it stung. I didn't mean to nuke them, she thought, guilt gnawing. She'd wanted Linda exposed, not this carnage. Nick wheeled on Linda. "I'm out. Divorce is next. You're done," he snarled, charging to the garage, the door slamming so hard a Bronco's frame hit the deck. Linda collapsed on the couch, bawling, her armor shattered. "It was one stupid night, decades ago, I swear," she blubbered. A Lifetime movie sob story nobody bought. Jake shook his head, grabbing Emily's hand. "We're gone. No calls, no visits. Clean up your train wreck," he said, ice in his tone. He hoisted Eli, truck in tow, and they bolted for the car. Emily glanced back. Linda, a mascara-streaked mess, alone in her chaos. The ride home was graveyard quiet, just I-70's drone and Eli's snores from the back seat. In Arvada, Jake flopped on their IKEA couch, staring at the ceiling fan. Emily eased in beside him. "I'm sorry it went nuclear," she murmured. Jake exhaled, scrubbing his face. "Not on you. Truth sucks, but it's better than her lies eating at us. She's been toxic, and I was too thick to clock it." He tugged her close, a rock in the rubble. "You and Eli, that's my line in the sand. She's got no shot at us now." Emily nodded, head on his shoulder, a shaky calm taking root. Linda's plot imploded spectacularly. Nick filed for divorce by week's end, crashing in a pal's Lakewood basement. She rattled around that Littleton house, her schemes ashes on the wind. Gossip flew, neighbors yapped over picket fences, cousins took teams, and Linda's days as family puppet master fizzled out. Jake and Emily kept stacking their life, tougher for it, their condo a stronghold against her faded spite. Fate pulled a fast one. Linda, the finger-pointer, got smoked by her own skeletons, a karma slap colder than a Coors straight from the Rockies.